Welcome scientist, activist, broadcaster, and the former host of CBC's The Nature of Things, David Suzuki.
I'm here to introduce Sarah. Thank you. Thank you. As an environmentalist, I take this opportunity to acknowledge the vital importance music plays in our lives and to causes like mine. It's always astounded me to see how music cuts through all of the arguments, debate, and rationalization to go straight to the heart in a way nothing else does. It can unite us with anthems like We Shall Overcome. In 1975, women went on strike in Iceland and were galvanized into a movement by the anthem translated as Onward Girls that overturned patriarchy. Music lifts us up with dreams like Lennon's Imagine, opens our eyes like Bruce Coburn's If a Tree Falls, and stiffens our resolve with Midnight Oil's Beds Are Burning. Music matters. I was thrilled to meet Sarah Harmer at an event opposing a gravel pit on the Niagara Escarpment, and when she sang Escarpment Blues, I saw she understood the message of environmentalism, that everything is connected, that digging a hole in the escarpment has repercussions for the entire watershed and beyond to the Great Lakes. But what moved me most was her love of the escarpment as part of her home and her passion to fulfill a responsibility to protect that bit of the planet. You see, the problem for Mother Earth is that in our drive for economic opportunity, there is no reciprocity in what we do. By acknowledging the generosity of Mother Earth, we must assume a responsibility for how we affect nature's resilience and integrity. Sarah understands that issues like hunger and poverty, social justice, patriarchy, equity, and the environment all reflect the way we live and treat each other and Mother Earth. If you're starving or your water is polluted or you're fleeing war, survival comes before worrying about the environment. So those issues must be our issues. Sarah knows that the global eco-crisis cannot be resolved without transformation of how we live and treat each other. She joined with the Nobel Women's Initiative, created by Nobel Peace Prize women, whose goal is, quote, rejection of war, militarism, violence and discrimination, where peace and security are built on feminist principles, human rights, the environment, and equality for all people and communities, end of quote. With the Nobel Group, Sarah toured Central America to witness and support women fighting discrimination, violence, and the ravages of mining. Then, with the Nobel Initiative in Canada, Sarah listened to Indigenous women from communities along pipeline routes, and she became an official intervener at hearings on the Enbridge pipeline. I could go on and on listing her record of activism, but you can see why she richly deserves the Juno Humanitarian Award. On behalf of all who love our children and this earth, and hope for a better future for them both, thank you, Sarah, for your dedication and your music that touches our hearts and reminds us what really matters most. Congratulations to Sarah Harmer, this year's Humanitarian Award winner. Come on up, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is a huge honor. Thank you to the Junos Committee. Thank you so much to David Suzuki for being a lifelong example and inspiration for so many of us. I want to thank my mom, Isabel, who's not here tonight, but who is with me always. As a fierce and loving defender of what is right, she is not afraid to stand up in the face of corporate ideas, dominance, disrespect of the planet. I'd like to thank people who have helped me so much in my music career that has been somewhat unconventional at times, veering off away from putting out albums and writing songs. People like Jack Ross, my agent, Patrick Sambrook, my first manager and dear friend, Claire Rosenbaum. Thank you for your support. You know, when I started out making music, I never really wanted to be a solo artist. I always wanted to be in a band. I always wanted to be in a shitty van driving across Canada, loading the gear, telling stories, being paid by beer. That's what I wanted, because I know it's a team sport. And when I started to get involved, when I first got involved and went to a public meeting about protecting a part of the planet that I knew, part of the world that I knew was special, that UNESCO had recognized as a World Biosphere Reserve, I knew that I couldn't do that by myself. It's not possible to do these things by yourself. It's a team effort. And so I share this award with so many community volunteers across the country who donate their time, all over the place, unsung, people who stand up and organize, write submissions to government, go to boring meetings, get organized and stand up collectively in the face of a neoliberal corporate paradigm that is on its way out. We need to stand up for the living world that underpins our lives. We are nothing without the land and the water, and I want to recognize and appreciate the backbone of Indigenous communities across this country. I have learned so much having the opportunity to travel from Nunavut to British Columbia up to Labrador. I've been so privileged. With that privilege comes responsibility. So I ask and thank all of you who are doing your part, and I ask you all to continue to use your gifts, use your opportunity and responsibility, use your time at the microphone to throw your weight behind community efforts. We can do this together. There's so much to achieve. We have a climate crisis staring at us. We have a big need to get together and strengthen our communities, strengthen our Canadian culture. Thank you to the Junos for this recognition. I appreciate you all. Thank you.